Hello everyone, this is Intro Sakura1 here, back with another Lion Guard video. It may seem dumb, but since I did watch the 1 hour special, I figured I would just make a video kind of talking about it, being I do love Lion King. It is one of my favorite Disney movies, and my favorite Lion King character, Kiara, of course, was a part of this special, so yeah, if not for her I wouldn't have even watched it. Anyway, but I did go into this special knowing that it was supposed to be for little kids, and it was not going to be as good as the movies. I knew that going in. And with that in mind, it was actually okay as a 1 hour special. Nowhere near as good as the movies, but again, I didn't expect it. Nobody should have, honestly. But it was actually okay, but there were some things that kind of annoyed me a little bit. A tiny bit. First thing is, at the start, they say Scar was the leader of the Lion Guard, and he was trying to recruit the other members of his Lion Guard to help take out Mufasa and be the king. I don't think that's right, actually. From what I remember, Scar didn't get the idea of killing Mufasa or Simba until Simba was actually born. Because Simba being born meant he would not be able to take the throne one day, because by the time Simba would maybe abdicate the throne, Scar would be way too old, and yeah, his reign would have been very, very short. So that's why I got the whole idea of, let's kill my brother and my nephew and let me take over. It had nothing to do with any Lion Guard or anything. I mean, logically, that's the whole reason that's not mentioned is, of course, because this was thought of way after Lion King 1. But it is a slight continuity error in a sense, sort of, kinda. But, yeah, I mean, that's the only major thing I saw kind of wrong with the plot, I guess. As far as the characters, Kion himself was not annoying or anything to me, but flat out he is a clone of Simba as a cub, really. He looks exactly like him even, the only difference is his hair, pretty much. Other than that, Simba is exactly like Simba was as a child. Kiara, she wasn't annoying. However, if they just made her a stereotypical big sister who got annoyed by her brother and just wished she could be left alone and he would not bother her, and etc., etc. And of course, a major change to her character from her movie is she actually wants to be the queen. I mean, in this special she even says, oh, Kion's gonna ruin the Pride Lands when she learns about him being the leader of the Lion Guard. She says, he's gonna ruin the Pride Lands before I can even be queen. Which, she is nothing like that in her movie, but yeah, whatever. Something else kind of weird about Kiara is she doesn't bring up Kovu whatsoever. She doesn't mention him, or even talk about meeting him. I mean, maybe you could assume Simba said, don't even talk about him, don't bring up what happened, nothing. But, being that was kind of a big experience for her, especially she was terrified when Zero showed up, you would think she maybe would talk about it at least once, but she didn't mention a word about it. Speaking of Kovu and everything, the villains, they don't bring up the outsider pride at all. And being this takes place between when Kiara met Kovu as a child and when she goes on her first hunt in Lion King 2, it's already established that there is a pride led by Zero living in the Outlands, right? Well, the hyenas and nobody in the special even brings up Zira and her pride whatsoever, which they should have. It's kind of weird that they don't show them, they don't mention them or anything. Honestly, they should. But, no. The head hyena guy does mention that he and others who live in the Outlands would not be able to get as much food because of Kion and his group and the new Lion Guard and all that. But he doesn't mention Zero or Pride by name, and again, they are not shown. But, what can you do? They really should have mentioned them at least. But anyway, as far as the other characters, Kiara's two friends, they were kind of annoying, and it's kind of weird to see Kiara with friends. Being in her movie, she wasn't shown with anybody, just her mom and dad and Kobu. But yeah, it's kind of weird that she's seen with friends to me, in a sense, and they are annoying to me. The one of them, what is her name? Zuri, I think? She's kind of stereotypically girly. She complains about her claw being broken, the old I broke a nail trope thing. And it's kind of weird to me and kind of annoying. And honestly, I think Kiara deserves better friends. Because in her movie, she's a much better character, but yeah, it's whatever. Kion's friends were actually alright to me. They were cute and funny, sort of. Yeah. Timon and Pumbaa, they were okay in this special. I mean, they were okay. The music, it started off with a piece from Lion King. Not Circle of Life as you would expect. It was one of the orchestrated pieces. And I can't remember the name of it for the life of me, but it is one of the pretty ones. That was a good start, I guess. The rest of the songs, I guess you could say they were kind of catchy, but I don't know. Of course, they're nowhere near the movie's songs at all. Don't expect that. But they were okay for a kid's special, So, that was alright. The climax of the film, or special, it's not really a movie, the climax of it was okay. I mean, everything turned out right, which is to be expected. But, I don't know, the hyenas were kind of weak as villains. They're no Shenzi, Banzai, and Ed by any means. Things were kind of resolved sort of easily. And, Kiara getting hurt at the end was kind of silly. I mean, Kiara, well, it's her future self. She was able to survive a huge fire in the savannah. And then she almost gets killed by a stampede by falling off a rock, which wasn't even that high, and spraining her paw. I don't know. Kiara shouldn't have gotten that easily hurt. She's actually, as a kid, she was able to survive crocodiles trying to eat her. So, yeah, that was kind of stupid to me, and Kiara deserves better treatment as a character, in my opinion. But they had to make Kion the hero and all that, and Kiara see that, wow, her brother's not so stupid after all. Which, of course, she does, and yeah, Simba becomes quite proud of his son and everything. Because the whole plot is basically Kion assembling the Lion Guard after he learns he's the new leader, and yeah, just Simba learning to trust him and everything. I mean, I guess that was sweet how Simba did finally learn to trust him, but yeah, it's just, I don't know. It was okay, but still, it's nowhere near as good as the movies. It just wasn't, and I didn't expect it to be. The threat wasn't that big in the end, but yeah. I keep saying it, but it was just okay. Would I watch the series? No, not really, because I don't think Kiara's going to be in it, really. If she's not meant to be, it's supposed to be Kion's whole show and his whole deal. But, this was okay, but, yeah. As a fan of Kiara, I kind of don't like how she was treated, but everything else was just okay. It wasn't horrible, wasn't great. I would maybe suggest giving it one watch just to see if you'll personally like it. My thoughts are it was okay. So, yeah, I guess that's my final thoughts on it. Oh, before I forget, it was, of course, awesome to see J. Earl Jones return as Mufasa. You can't have Mufasa without him being the voice. I do wish Kiara had gotten to speak to him, though, but it wasn't her special, it was Kion, so whatever. But, yeah, that is my thoughts on the Lion Guard. It was okay, could have been a lot better. Kiara could have been treated better, but he wasn't super horrible, just drastically different from her movie counterpart. So, yeah, if you want to get a better impression of Kiara, watch Lion King 2. She is a much better character than in this special. So, yeah. Uh, Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys later.